Listen.
Welcome to the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus. Welcome to Battle Bus Live. I am Brian Rose, and we are live here on the Brian for Mayor Digital Battle Bus, touring the boroughs of Islington and Camden. So happy to be in these incredible boroughs. I actually live in Camden. I might stop up at home and get a little lunch before I head back to the office. And of course, going through the great borough of Islington, I spent a lot of time there and super excited to get out on the road. Today, I want to give you an update as what's been happening with us and the police, as far as them banning us from campaigning, the fines that we got 2 weeks ago. And I also want to tell you about the legal action and the legal letter that we put back to the commissioners and their response that came in just less than 48 hours ago. This changes the game when it comes to free and fair elections and the democracy. And I'm going to need your help if we're going to proceed here on May 6th to make sure that we do have free and fair elections. So stay tuned. Again, I want to hear from you right now. Leave me a comment. Share this video to someone who needs to see it right now. We're only powerful because of you and our digital networks and us as a group of people. So thanks so much for being here. Really excited. We're literally turning the corner here as we go through these boroughs, going on to Holloway Road now. We've been this morning to Hammersmith and Fulham. We've also been to Kensington and Chelsea. We went through Westminster quickly. And of course, we're going through Islington and Camden today. Islington is the home of Emirates Stadium. Come on. Right? Incredible piece of infrastructure that is host to Arsenal, and it's a great place to be and an incredible landmark in Islington. And Camden, we're going to shortly go by the Camden markets. This actually used to be a horse stables for the massive train lines there, but now it's been turned into this subterranean marketplace. We've got to get Camden markets back up and running. We got to get London back to work. And I love Camden. I love the canals. I love that whole area. I've spent so much time there, taking my sons there, and it's great to be going through these boroughs. So thank you so much for having us. Just to give you a quick update, we are on day 22 of the Digital Battle Bus Tour. 22 days we've been on the road. We've logged over 1,500 miles in this bus. Yes, in London, 1,500 miles. We've been through every single borough, twice probably by now, and we're going to keep going because democracy can't stop. We've got to stay on here and make sure that free and fair elections take place, and we're really excited. Again, 1,500 miles is long enough to go from here up to Scotland, back down to London, I think back up to Scotland as well, and we're just going to keep on going. So we're super excited. A few other stats. Our website, brianformayor.london, has had 3.5 million unique visitors. 3.5 million unique visitors, with 62% of those people coming from the greater London area. That means a lot of people are coming from Britain and the rest of the world. We've had over 850,000 shares of our website. That is a massive engagement, and we've had 1.2 billion, yes, you heard me right, that's billion with a B, content views of the Brian for Mayor campaign. Those are images, our policy videos, anything you've seen out there 1.2 billion times. We're super proud of all the work that we've done here together with you, and I want to talk to you today right now. So again, leave me your comment now. I got a few questions for you. I just want to say, last night we kicked off the Brian for Mayor Volunteer Army. It was an incredible live call. We had hundreds of people on there. We've already had so many people come in and say, Brian, we want to be a part of this campaign. We want to volunteer our time. We want to use our digital networks. We want to come out on the bus with you. We want to get out there and talk to people in a COVID secure way. And we also want to come to the inauguration party. Everyone's asking me about the inauguration party we're going to have after we move into City Hall. Let me tell you, there's going to be some big stars that'll be appearing there and some big acts we've already got lined up. So if you want a ticket to the inauguration ball for mayor, come and be part of our volunteer army. Go to brianformayor.london/volunteer. Again, you got to fill out an application, but you get the chance to spend 3 months with me and my team in our inner circle of volunteer people. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, we just had a massive call last night. Our kickoff volunteer call was bigger than any party in London. And I think we know That's probably why we're going to win this election, because we've got everyone here on the ground. So thank you so much. Again, we're looking forward to moving ahead with free and fair elections. I want to hear from you right now. I want to ask you these questions, and I want to give you an update on what's happening between us and the police. First of all, tell me, what borough do you live in? What's the biggest challenge you face, and what's the question you want to ask me? Type that right now wherever you're at. Also, if you're watching me right now, share this video with your social media followers. Share it with your friends. Share it with people on WhatsApp. It would really help us a lot. Second, I want you to ask a question. Do you think it was right? It was approximately, well, it was almost 3 weeks ago now. I think it was 19 days ago, for the police to detain us, to stop us, to fine us, and ban us from campaigning. Do you think that was right? You probably watched the video. It went viral. It's been watched nearly 1 million times. And also, do you think that decision was politically motivated? Third, do you believe that free and fair elections should be allowed to take place on May 6th, and that all parties should be allowed to campaign the way that everyone can campaign? And I'll talk about this shortly, because we think that there is some favoritism going on here, and we think it favors the big parties and it boxes out the little guy. Lastly, do you think we need new leadership, new vision, and new ideas to take London in a new direction? So again, type in your answers right now. I really want to hear from you, and let me just give you an update as far as what's been going on with us. And if you haven't been following us, then let me tell you, about 19 days ago, I was out, it was actually on a Sunday, and it was the first day of snow in London. And there our bus was, right by London Bridge. We had parked, and I pulled out an umbrella, and I was walking down the center of the road with my iPhone in one hand, the umbrella in the other hand, talking to you via video. Again, there was no one around me. I had just walked out of our 100% COVID-secure digital battle bus, following the same protocols that film studios and television productions are using right now as we speak in London. And suddenly I was surrounded by 10 City of London police officers that approached in 5 police vans. They stopped me, they detained me, they ended up fining me and 4 of my crew, and they said, "You are banned from campaigning." We filmed all of this, we put it out, and it went viral. We got covered by the BBC, by the Daily Mail, by global news networks, because people felt deep in their hearts, something's not right here. These guys, they're following all the rules, they're following all the protocols, and you're stopping Brian from talking to his phone in the middle of a street. Something didn't sit right with you and the public. And quite honestly, it didn't sit right with us either. So we obeyed the police. Again, I know the police have a difficult job, and that's why I said to that police officer, and you can go watch the video now, I said, "This seems political." And he got very angry with me and very loud. He said, "No, this isn't political." And it made me question that even more, because it felt like we were being singled out. We were being singled out, and the big guys were trying to take down the independent candidates, the smaller parties, and not giving them a voice in democracy, which goes against everything I was taught about what we have here in a democratic society. And so we went back to our home base. I spoke to my legal team, and we sent out a 5-page legal letter to the 3 main commissioners of the police forces here in London, including the Metropolitan Police, the City of London Police, and the British Transport Police, explaining why we believed we were allowed to continue campaigning. Then we got right back out on the road. That's what we did. In the face of fear, knowing we could be arrested, again, fined more, they could impound the bus, who knows what could have happened. But we got back out there. Initially, we were pulled over by the Metropolitan Police, so now this showed this was a coordinated effort between 2 police forces. But they allowed us to continue when they found out that I wasn't on the bus. Again, very strange. But we continued. You see me back here in the back of the battle bus. I think this is our 10th broadcast at this point. And so we've gone out and continued to push forward, because we think we are right, and we think that free and fair elections need to take place. I've had a response to that legal letter, and I want to talk to you about it right now, because each one of those commissioners acknowledged they got the letter, and then they replied with their responses. And the response is intriguing, and it tells you a lot about what's going on here, which is very, very political. And I want to share that with you today. But first, I want to go to your questions again, or your answers. Answer these questions for me. First of all, tell me, what borough are you in? What's your biggest challenge, and what question would you like to ask me when I visit? Second of all, do you think it was right for the police to detain us, to fine us, and to ban us from campaigning? And do you think it was politically motivated? Next, do you think that free and fair elections should be allowed to take place on May 6th? And that means all parties are allowed to campaign in whatever way they choose to, as long as it's in a COVID-secure manner. And finally, do you think we need new leadership, new ideas for the city to take it into a new direction? So some great questions coming in here. And again, whatever network you're on right now, please share this video now with all your social networks. Send it out to your people on WhatsApp, by text message, by email, and leave me a question below. There's some great ones coming through here, and I appreciate all the people on Instagram. We got Christina Valentina saying, you being arrested was not right. I believe it was political. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate your comments. I think it was too, and I think most of the world does as well. We've got James Burden on Instagram saying, we'll be voting for you. Thank you, James. And if some of you aren't registered to vote, go to votefirst.london. It takes 5 minutes. You can register. There's a video of me. I explain what to do. We need your vote on May 6th in order to change this city. Next, we've got WJ O'Brien on Instagram says, I hope you win enough votes. Thank you. I got Rob Maher on Instagram that says, how do you plan to tackle London's knife crime epidemic? And I will talk about this toward the end of the episode. It's a great question. We just saw 15 stabbings in a 3-day period here in London. 2 of those people died, including young Sven Badzak, 22 years old. He was going to Waitrose to get some orange juice. I mean, this kid had gone to private school with Prince Harry. This guy was trying to get his degree in law, and now he's dead. And his mom appealed out to the people. Even the Sun magazine put out a £20,000 reward for information leading to the people that killed him. They believe it was a group of 8 youngsters that stabbed him, and it just shows how the mayor has failed this city repeatedly. Every single year over the past 5 years, knife crime has increased. He's got no solutions. He's got no plan. I have a solution to tackle and solve the knife crime epidemic, and I'm going to share it with you towards the end of this broadcast. So thank you so much for the comment. Also, got a couple of these via our website. I got Raina on our website, and by the way, you can go to our website, brianformayor.london, and submit these questions, and I'll read them out here. Raina says, I just want you to know I really, really want you to win this election. Heaps of Aussies supporting you. Thank you so much, Raina. I appreciate that. The truth is, this is a London election, but we've got support from people all around the world, and it feels amazing. You can actually volunteer for this race, even if you're not in London, because we need people out there helping us share these assets digitally, calling people on the phone. And again, you can still come to the inauguration party. So thank you so much. I got Elizabeth in Kensington and Chelsea. We just went by you, Elizabeth, via the website. She says, how do we offer support for the campaign? And that's a great question. You know, Elizabeth, we had our volunteer kickoff call yesterday. You can go right now to brianformayor.london/volunteer. I'm going to send you a survey. I want you to show me, can you support us? Are you willing to do things that might be challenging for you? You know, things that are uncomfortable. That's how I've managed to progress in life, doing things that challenge me. Are you willing to help us share digital assets, make phone calls, and when it's COVID secure, go and doorstop people on their front doors and talk to them about our policies. Come on the bus with us, come to live events with us, and of course, come to the inauguration with us. So we're excited for that. Elizabeth, go to the website to find out more. A few more comments coming in there, and I appreciate all of these. We've got Virginia Jacqueline on Instagram that says, open London up again, please. And she's referring to my Get London Back to Work policy. And you know, Virginia, that's what we want to do here. I go by these places right now. I see boarded up, boarded up, boarded up, boarded up. I think I'm going down what looks like Camden High Street to me. And yeah, it's got all the crazy storefronts. Look at these. They're all closed. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is a Friday in London. You know, a year ago, these would have all been up, open, bustling with business, serving people, but now they're closed. We need a roadmap out of this, and that's what our politicians have failed to do, and that's what I'm going to do as your next mayor. So a few more questions here. We got Urema on Instagram that says, are you having any interaction with the Londoners? How do you find them? You know, the truth is this is a 100% COVID secure campaign, so we're obviously not interacting with Londoners, but they shout things out to me when I'm out doing charity food drops. We hear from them via digital. We hear people honking their horns. We hear people showing their support. So it's been an incredible interaction. A couple more questions here. I got Eat Like Alex on Instagram that says, how can we support you apart from sharing on social media? Come and volunteer. Come to brianformayor.london/volunteer. It's going to be an incredible experience. You are going to learn so much. Understanding and helping us with this campaign. Trust me, you want to be a part of this. It's going to be amazing. And we got Nick Edwards on Instagram that's saying, finally, someone with a backbone. Thank you, Nick. We felt we had to stand up for our rights. It was something we've been doing here at London Real for years, and we did it, you know, nearly 3 weeks ago, and I'm so glad we stood up to those police and we said we have to move forward. And again, the police have a difficult job. I want to support police. I want more police. I want to fund the police for better training. The police are stuck in the middle of what I believe is a political situation. So again, I respect the police have a difficult job to do. I am talking to the people telling the police what to do, and what you're doing is political, and I want to dive into that right now. So let's talk about the response from the police to our 5-page legal document. And again, if you're coming late, we sent this document out after we were stopped, detained, fined, and banned for campaigning almost 3 weeks ago. And at the time, we knew there was something wrong with that. We drafted the legal letter, but we've now just got a response, and I want to read from you the response from the City of London Police. And so I'll explain exactly what they said to this. And it says this. They said this, quote, "The government's view is that these restrictions, and those are the laws that they enforced it there, do not support door-to-door campaigning or leafleting by individual political party activists. And that's in order to reduce transmission of COVID-19 infection. Door-to-door campaigning at this point is therefore not considered essential or necessary activity," unquote. So that was their response to me demanding why I was stopped and fined when I was walking down the street alone speaking to my phone. So my first response to this, and we've already put this response out via press release, is I wasn't engaged in leafleting, I wasn't engaged in canvassing, I wasn't engaged in door-to-door campaigning. So why did you stop me, fine me, and ban me from campaigning? This does not actually answer that question for me, and I find that very peculiar. I also find it strange that I was actually never sent the ticket, and I have not actually been issued the fine. So I think somehow they knew what they were doing was wrong. Maybe they never actually planned on fining us, or maybe when they saw that all of you were behind us and the world reacted with outrage to this insult to democracy, that they said, wait a second, we know we've gone too far. Maybe we should speak to our bosses in the political realm and say, maybe something's not right here and we shouldn't proceed. So I'm really happy that we stood up and fought for our rights, and this response clearly does not give them grounds to stop us doing what we're doing now, which is digitally campaigning and what I was doing on that day. But it goes even further, because the police response went on to say this. They said that leafleting by individual political party activists is not supported. And so what they're actually saying is this: leafleting by private companies and private distribution is supported. Now bear with me here and you can understand the actual nuance here, and it's a very important part. Small parties, independent candidates, liberal Dems, Greens, these kinds of things, if you're not part of the two-party system, you don't have a lot of resources, which means you need volunteers to get out there and help you drop these leaflets off so people can know the message. The big parties can afford private distribution. These are the companies that drop off, the pizza vouchers that come into your front door. The police are now saying that it's okay to use a private company to drop off political leaflets, but it's not okay for you to use volunteers to do the same thing. This is clearly favoring the big guy. It's favoring the big parties, and in my opinion, this is evidence that the major parties here in London are in the midst of buying the election. That's what they're doing here, and they're prohibiting parties like ours, again, Lib Dems, Greens, and a lot of other small parties out there from actually getting their message out. And I was surprised, very surprised, that they would put this into writing and tell us this specifically. And again, if you want details on that, we put out a press release about that, and you'll be seeing more press about this. But something is fundamentally wrong when they are saying you are allowed to campaign if you have the funds, if you use a private company, but you're not allowed to campaign if you use volunteers. And again, this is something that we've seen applied to us for the past few weeks. There's a double standard here. If you're part of the major party system or you're the incumbent mayor, you have one set of rules. The current mayor is out there campaigning on a regular basis. But if you're part of the smaller parties or the little guy, you have a second rule. And they're using these quote-unquote COVID restrictions to make sure we can't campaign. And again, let me be clear about this. If you don't have a choice as a voter, by not knowing who your candidates are, then by definition you have no choice and we have no democracy. And so in my opinion, that's what's happening here. The major parties are trying to deafen out our voices. They're trying to prohibit you from finding out about our information and our ideas, because quite honestly, they think our ideas are dangerous. Why? Because our ideas work. They're going to change the system, and they're going to solve all these problems that we've been talking about today. I know how to get London back to work. I know how to solve these problems with knife crime on the street. I know how to build affordable homes. I'm going to build 50,000 by Christmas, which is 4 times the amount in 5 months than the mayor has built in 5 years. I have solutions for our TFL first of all, no longer going bankrupt, but also on how the TfL can run a profit. And that means no more congestion charge, no more LTN charges in your own neighborhood for going to visit your own grandparents. These are some of the solutions I have, and quite honestly, I think they're dangerous ideas, and that's why we are being quieted now by the political machine. So I'm curious what you think. I've given you the facts here. Literally, this letter we will publish for you so you can read it and see their exact responses. But 2 points I want to summarize. First of all, they fined and banned me for doing something that wasn't against the regulation. I was literally digitally campaigning, walking down a street, speaking with a phone. I was social distance from everyone. And not breaking any rules because I wasn't leafleting and I wasn't canvassing. Second thing, they've just said, if you want a leaflet, you can't do it via volunteers, you have to do it private companies. And this, for me, is evidence that the major parties are trying to buy this election. It's not fair. I won't stand for it, and I'm guessing you won't stand for it as well. So, final section of questions today. Please, I want to hear from you right now, and tell me, first of all, what borough do you live in? What's your biggest challenge? And what question would you like to ask me when I visit? Second, do you think it was right for the police to detain us, to fine us, and ban us from campaigning? And was it politically motivated? Give me your honest thoughts. Third, do you think that free and fair elections should be allowed to take place on May 6th? And does that mean that every single party should be allowed to campaign the way they want, which means using volunteers, of course, in a COVID-safe way, but banning them now, it's clearly favoritism, and it favors the big guy. Lastly, do you think, and be honest about this, do we just need new leadership in this city? Do we need new ideas? Do we need solutions for our problems? Do we need to take London in a new direction? Tell me your answers right now. Again, I love going through these boroughs here. I think we're still in Camden right now, and it's great going through here. I love Camden. I love Islington. I lived in Hackney for a big part of my life. I currently live in Camden, and it's great to kind of be home. So go into your answers right now. Again, if you've been watching me and you haven't left a question yet, leave a question right now. I'll read it out. Also, share this video right now with someone who needs to. Share it on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on your WhatsApp group. You know the one I'm talking about. Share it on there and tell your friends about this, on your Telegraph group, whatever it is. So, great questions and comments coming in here. I got Krish P89 on Instagram says, quote, Sadiq is the worst mayor we ever had. All he cares about is virtue signaling and attending celebrity events. He doesn't care about real problems affecting normal Londoners, unquote. And, you know, you took the words right out of my mouth. You know, I look at what he's coming up with lately. He's in the midst of campaigning for your vote for 3 more years of this, right? And I see him coming out with these nonsensical policies. He's got a committee on statues. He's trying to get you to put your money up for a crowdfunding campaign to save businesses when he should be saving them as mayor. He's coming up with something about the Europe and London when I think that's old news. I just feel like he's wasting our time and, like you said, virtue signaling. So I appreciate you seeing that. It's time for a new direction, clearly. I got Ravi on Instagram that says, I've always enjoyed your content, inspiring as always. How do you propose for rent and housing prices to be affordable and allow creative communities to thrive? And Ravi, it's a great question. And again, I go into this in detail on my website, but we need to build more homes. The mayor promised you 400,000 new homes over his course of 5 years. He promised this in 2016. He's built a total of, wait for it, 12,000 homes. That's 3% of what he promised. He's got no solutions. He can't hold people accountable, and he doesn't deliver. I have a solution, and I'm working with top architects in this city right now as we speak to build 50,000 homes in 5 months and completely change the game. It means everything's more affordable for everyone in this city, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it fast. I got Jimmy here on Instagram that says politicians should be more like you. Do you expect to be cloned? Great question, Jimmy. I haven't thought about being cloned. I think one of me is enough. At least that's what my wife would say. But look, I feel like we're all going to City Hall together. In some way, there are 9 million of us here, or even billions around the world that are going for this change. And I think London will be a model for cities all around the world for just getting the best idea out there, independent voices, no more two-party political system. So I'm excited for that. Thank you very much. Joe Goddard on Instagram says, con out, Rose in. Con out, Rose in. That should be a bumper sticker. I appreciate you very much. I got Alex Willpower on Instagram says, are you allowed to campaign still? You know, that's a great question, you know. Are you allowed to campaign? We are still out here in the face of fear. We could be arrested at any time. Every time we hear sirens, my whole team, we all look around us because we think we might get pulled over. It seems to me that the new rules are you're allowed to campaign if you can buy the election. That's what we seem to be told. If you can pay private companies to get your message out there, then you're allowed to campaign. But the little guy gets shut out, gets drowned out. And I think it's because we have dangerous ideas, because they're great ideas, and they're going to change the status quo. They're going to change their agenda, and they're going to empower the citizens, and that's why I think we're getting this pushback. So great question. I got Busty Dog on Instagram says, cannot wait for London's new mayor, Brian Rose. Thank you very much. I've got Richard Newsbury on YouTube. It says, Brian, what will you do to recruit, support, and inspire special constables, that's volunteer police officers in London, both in the city, Met, and BTP forces? That's a great question. I was speaking with a senior police officer recently about this, and he said, Brian, he said, do you know what these new officers get paid? He said, with all respect, they get paid less than someone that starts off at McDonald's. He says there's a real problem there. So what we need to do, though, is find a new way to look at London as a business. We need to find a way to make TfL profitable. We need to find a way to get corporate investment in our community centers so we can have more money for our metropolitan police forces and other police forces. So we can, first of all, pay people what they deserve, put more officers on the street, and I'm already speaking with top professionals about how we can train the police officers better. I have a solution for this, and it all does come down to cash, and I know where to get it. I know how we can source it. I know how we can run all of these things like a business and get the funds desperately needed for the police. So I appreciate you, Richard, and I appreciate these hard questions. Please keep them coming. A couple more questions and we're going to wrap up. I got Cam93 AM says, I'm from Camden. Great to see you, Cam. Honk if you see us. Also, print out our Brian for Mayor posters. You can go to our website and get them and put them in your windows. I want to see these when we come by. Cam says, quote, I'm from Camden. If you're elected, I want to be in your office. I'm young. I feel the problem we have is that we do it. We have a voice. If I can send my CV and see what you think, Brian for Mayor. You know, Cam, go right now to brianformayor.london/volunteer and sign up. You can be part of this incredible movement to bring back democracy and create these free and fair elections and make sure the little guy finally has a voice. So Cam, I appreciate that. And I got Pawan Sadi on YouTube that says, I like your consistency, Brian. You're the only person talking daily about opening London back up again. And we're here every single day. We're out on the road. I'm out on the streets. I'm recording with you. I'm talking to you. This is all happening in real time. And again, ask me these hard questions. I would love to have you on our team as well, Pawan, to be one of our volunteers. And we believe you've got to be transparent. You've got to be digital. You got to talk to people on these social media feeds. That's what our politicians, they just don't do anymore because they don't want to. They don't want to be held accountable. And I think we need to take London in a new direction. So Black Mustang says simply, quote, that bus is baller. And you know, the truth is spoken. It is. We love this bus. It's an incredible place to be. But it really gets the message out to the people, and it means we can listen to you. So thank you so much. And I got Urema on Instagram that says, I follow Sadiq on LinkedIn, and he does spread panic on a daily basis, does not respond to any critics. Appalling. And that's the truth. What you see from our leaders is they use fear as a weapon. They don't offer innovation or education or solutions. That's not what we need in a leader. I'm from the business world. You know, the CEO gets paid to deliver solutions. That's what it is, you know, to create innovations, to solve problems. Our current mayor doesn't do any of that. Like you said, uses fear as a weapon, never responds to criticism. You know, again, virtue signals, comes up with these nonsensical ideas that he throws out there. Why isn't he talking about the three most issues crucial to Londoners? And we just paid for a research report for Mortar Research, and they polled 2,000 Londoners, and they found that the three top issues on Londoners, not surprising, are affordable housing, crime, and our bankrupt transport system. Those are the three things, Mr. Mayor. Why aren't you talking about those three things? And I'll answer that question for you. Because he's failed on every single one. And I've done hours and hours of these videos explaining the data on how he's failed and how we can't have 3 more years of this with the mayor. And so I want to finish out with a request, and a lot of you have been asking me, and a lot of you I've seen on the social feeds of the mayor, and I want you to go there now. Go to his LinkedIn, go to his Instagram, go to his, I don't even think he's on YouTube, go to his Facebook and say, Mr. Mayor, when will you debate Brian Rose? That's it, simple question. Give me a time, give me a date, I'll be there. You can come to London Real Studios. We can do it on one of your mainstream media outlets that favors your party if you want. That's fine. We can do it on Zoom right now if you want. Let me know when. Let's debate. Let's debate the facts. If I'm wrong about some of these, tell me. Show me the data. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. And tell me what you want to do for this city in the next 3 years when it comes to getting London back to work, creating affordable housing, solving the knife crime that's happening every day on the streets. I have children in this city. They're scared to go outside because of you. And what about our transport network? People are sick and tired of your low traffic neighborhoods. People in Ealing are sick and tired of you fining them for going to visit their parents, for trying to hit medical appointments. They're sick and tired of the emissions increases. They want solutions from the mayor. So I'm asking you, Mr. Mayor, when will you debate me? We're waiting for an answer. Every day you wait, I think it shows us that you have no interest in being confronted with the facts. And that's our battle here. We're going to keep pushing forward with the facts. And let me say one final thing. We are going to need everyone's help to win this battle. Everything, as you can see, is stacked against us, right? The police, the politicians, the policies. Everyone is stopping the independent voice from being heard. We're going to need you as a volunteer. We're going to need you to share this video, talk to your friends about this. We're going to need you to vote on May 6th for free and fair elections. Go to votefirst.london and register. This is going to take everything we've got. We got 83 days left. Let's make this happen, Londoners. I'm super excited for you, and I'm super excited to do this to you as well. So thank you so much. Again, we'll be streaming continually on this bus. If you see us, give us a honk, give us some love. We appreciate you so much. I got people honking their horn outside here. They got love and support for us. I appreciate this. We're just heading up Islington right now, and I appreciate all of you. Again, come to our website, volunteer, make sure you vote. Let's fight back. Let's fight back against these unfair results by our police. Let's fight back against these politicians. We literally got people here shouting over saying they want to volunteer right now. I think they want to get on the bus and help us volunteer. So look, go to the website. We're going to move forward. We appreciate you so much. This has been Battle Bus Live, once again coming from Camden and Islington. We appreciate you. Let's stick together. Let's fight the power. The people have spoken. Let's go and make sure free and fair elections take place. We appreciate you. And on May 6th, we're going to take London in a new direction. Thank you so much. I will see you next time on Battle Bus Live.